Hey, out there. I wanted to talk just a little bit about what I call the breathing container when you're doing any yoga asana. Um, More clinically, you might call it the pleural cavity, what's inside the pleura, basically the outer surface that the lungs are adhered to by suction. Okay, so we have this breathing container. When I'm standing up straight, it has a certain potential for movement. If I relax the abdomen or suck in the stomach, it has a different potential for movement. Okay, so basically, you have different potentials for the shapes, the dimensions, the size that your lungs can take. And one of the big things we do in any hatha yoga asana is we bend the spine, or we put the spine, torso, abdomen, thoracic cavity into a certain shape. So I could do arms over the head with the side bend, or I could do a back bend. I could do an inverted situation with my hands on the floor, or even some people doing handstands. What happens in each of these shapes is you put different pressures on that potential breathing container. So if I'm upside down, I have my organs on top of the diaphragm. If I'm in a back bend, I have, oh, I thought I saw a creature. If I'm in a back bend, I have the sort of lungs also are in a back bend. They're going to move according to the shape of the spine. Pick any posture, okay? But what happens is when you get into that asana, all asanas are held in total stillness. We do them for a minimum of 20 seconds in the Bikram series, and the other hatha yoga I've done, you hold for 30 to 45 seconds in stillness. This is really, really key. It's also one of the things that makes Bikram yoga harder for people that have not done a stillness practice, that have not done a hatha yoga system practice. So I just want a full, not warning, but heads up, if you've been doing a movement or flow class and you come to, whether it's Bikram yoga or Isha yoga or a traditional Ashtanga class, when you try to hold still and breathe, it might be harder than you can imagine. Okay, but anyway, you'll get better. You will totally transform the breath and the nervous system. But anyway, once you get into one of these postures, you've, like, let's say, bent the shape of the lungs into whatever shape the asana calls for. And then your goal is to learn how to breathe well, how to breathe evenly, how to breathe smoothly by the nose, and ultimately how to relax in that new shape. At first you won't be able to. At first you'll do camel pose and you'll freak out because you don't know how to breathe well in that posture, and that is to be expected. We are mostly poor breathers. We breathe enough to survive, but we don't breathe in a way that lets us thrive and balance the nervous system and relax throughout the day. So you will absolutely encounter situations when you start this practice where you're like, I can't breathe. I could not breathe well for years. Okay, I couldn't expand the rib cage. I struggled, I huffed and puffed, I pushed myself. But I just want you to know that where you're headed is ease in the breath. Now, it's not just mental. You can't just decide to breathe well, although that is a first start. Decide that the breathing is the most important thing. But there are mechanical, strength, flexibility, nervous system trainings, conditionings that have to happen for you to be able to breathe with ease in every posture. So there will be a struggle. There can't be zero struggle when you're transforming the rib cage potential, when you are transforming the lung container, when you're transforming the spine, when you're transforming sort of neurorespiratory feedback communication system. There is a struggle that will come at sometimes more than others. The key is consistency and understanding that you can back off. You don't have to push yourself into athletic mode, okay, although we might think we have to because of our previous conditioning. But if you just show up and you try to breathe in stillness, you are going to have a fundamentally different breathing system in a matter of not very long, really. If you look at the long course of life, even if it took me about 6 years to breathe well with a regular practice, which might seem like a ridiculously long amount of time, but think of how long it took you to read and write. All right, we are building a fundamental literacy, a new sort of system of communication and function 6 years is a little blip. That's like primary, like K through 5, first through 6th grade, okay? And you have that for life. So don't worry if that seems like a long time. Just imagine you're starting to read, starting to write, and you've never seen a pencil before. That stuff doesn't happen quickly. It takes daily, regular effort in the right direction, and you will get it. I've never seen anyone not get it if you put the mind and the practice in the right direction. All right, I can't wait to have you practice with us.